Oh, you come here. You guys, you sit there. Sit. Oh, no. Oh, no. What are you doing? No, no, no. Come here, Spank. You're being silly. Hey there. Long time no see. Literally. It's been about 3 months since I put a video up, and people are starting to talk. Leanne went on the Joyful Miles Running Club Facebook page and put, I haven't seen a 2019 race video from RezRuns. Is Gerald okay? Yes, I'm okay, as you can see. I got sick for a little while and I needed time to recover, plus I got really burned out from all of this. So I took a step back from social media. Now that's the short answer. The long answer is so much sadder. Can you hear my little violin? I know I'm making light of it, but if you go back and look at some of my older videos, I talk about the fact that I have a serious visual impairment. So the sheer act of doing a video like this is really tough for me. So it's pretty amazing that I kept a regular schedule over the better part of the past 3 years, since early 2016 when I ran my first ever half marathon at Disney, this one, and then doing all of those races and videos kind of came to a screeching halt about midway through last year. It was a big birthday year for me, 2018, and I wanted to do as many of the RunDisney race weekends as I could. That was the goal, and get as many medals as I could. I got 23 of them, as you can see from this video, that I never really got a chance to finish. Midway through the year, around Star Wars, I started feeling off. So I went to my doctor after the Star Wars weekend, and we found that I was dealing with this long-term underlying health issue, an enlarged liver and spleen, which I will talk about at a later time as I'm tackling new goals. But that didn't stop me. It wasn't until late in the year, right before Christmas, when I got really sick. I got the flu and I was laid up. I was in bed for nearly 3 weeks. And that was right up until the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. I thought I'd be okay because I'd only signed up for the half marathon. But that turned out, because of the lack of training, to be the hardest, longest, most excruciating, slowest race I have ever run. And if it wasn't for a friend of mine that many of you know, Karen, pulling me through the last 5 miles, I probably wouldn't have crossed that finish line. Now, while we were still at Disney celebrating that slow victory, I started to cough. So when I got home, I went to the doctor, and it turned out I caught bronchitis. And while I was recovering from that, I dove into the delicious RunDisney snack box and crunched down on one of those gluten-free pretzels and broke a tooth. So, you know, when it rains, it pours. Those dominoes, boom, 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 they fell one after the other over a matter of weeks, and I had to make a really tough decision. I just didn't think I could do another race weekend and another video when I hadn't trained, I wasn't feeling well. So I made a really difficult decision to eat the cost of a RunDisney race, the Princess Half Marathon. And you know, that's not an easy thing to do because the Disney races are more expensive than most other race organizations. So I think now it's time for a RezRuns reboot. I've never been one to let the obstacles stop me. So maybe it's RezRuns 2.0 or 3.0, 4.0, who knows. But I'm gonna start over a bit. And it starts with a staffing change. You've seen a little bit of that at the beginning of this video. And I'm gonna set some new goals and reassess what I've been doing. Now that doesn't mean I'm not gonna finish those race recaps I've already started. I'm well underway into finishing the Disneyland Paris Half Marathon from September. Merci beaucoup. Still working on my French. And then in November, I got a lot of great stuff at the Wine and Dine Half Marathon weekend, my Up, Carl, and Russell weekend. Go! And even though I had a lot of gear issues with my gimbal during Wine and Dine, and again in January with a replacement for the gimbal that actually malfunctioned while we were out there and had to be returned, I got a lot of great stuff also during Marathon weekend for the half marathon. Good morning. More importantly, the full marathon. I didn't run it, but I participated in one of the most fun things I've done, and that's the cheer squad, cheering everyone else on to finish up their full marathons. So sure, I'll finish up those recaps and hopefully get a few new ones in for the Star Wars weekend. But then moving forward, I need to reassess what I've been doing because I can't keep running races and putting together videos if I'm not training for weeks and months on end. So I'm going to pick my RunDisney battles a little bit more carefully. Maybe some new goals, a journey we can all join in on together. And I need a new POT. I ran only RunDisney races in 2018, so my POT, that carriage, is now turned into a pumpkin. Thank you, Fairy Godmother. I'm going to be looking at some new races that I will not be running with a camera because that just slows me down. And I need to train a little better. Speaking of not running with a camera, I'm working with a coach, Karen, a sometimes athlete, and I will put a link to her Facebook page in the description box below. We've been doing things I've never done before. I've only ever followed those RunDisney training plans, and they're good for beginners. But now I'm focusing on endurance and speed, and she took me from being sick to Star Wars in just 6 weeks. I just did another half marathon, that virtual half. So I'm ready for Star Wars. And now it's puppy time. Hey, come on, come on. What are you saying? Little change of scenery. You all know Coach Spanky. Here, have a seat. Say hi, Coach. He is a man of few words. This is the newest sibling or teammate. Her name is Darla. Our gang, Spanky and Darla, the little rascals. In fact, her full name is Darla Belle because I just couldn't decide, and she happens to be a fan of Beauty and the Beast. Sometimes when you open yourself up to good things, they happen. Darla came to us while I was still recovering. She came from the Facebook friend of a family member who happens to own her father. She's going on 19 weeks old, and she is not yet a coach, an assistant coach, or even a coach in training. I think she's more of a water girl because we're still potty training and we're still chewing on things. And just the other day, I actually slipped on one of her puppy toys and jammed my toe so badly, I had to go to the doctor and get an x-ray. I thought I broke it. Fortunately, that's not the case, and I'm going to be able to resume my training. They are a blessing, and hopefully the two of them will help me reach my goals. Speaking of which, Star Wars Rival Run weekend is just around the corner. So pick your side, light side or dark side, Spanky or Darla. I'm going to be working on a video to look at the virtual guide, hopefully in the coming days. And I'm working on a meetup with my friends from Joyful Miles and Heather Jergensen. So look out for the full details in the description box below, also on my Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram. In the meantime, keep training. I will see you at the starting line. First, it's time to play. Come on. Oh. Sit. Come here.